Where would you want to take that, Tish? Well, if I went back to my day, would I be slagging off Bobby Moore for going to Fulham? Would I slag off Martin Peters for going for Tottenham? Or Jeff Hurst for going to Stoke? Our World Cup trio went to other clubs after West Ham. I still think they were legends to me and always will be.
Of course they are.
What, are you going to slag them off because they went to other teams?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Titch TV and welcome back to Titch and Geezer's Premier League Roundup. Kieran, how are you doing today?
Good, bro. Good. Another weekend of fixtures over with.
Yep.
Finishing off this morning with Arsenal-Liverpool. I've done my usual. I didn't bother. I just got out of bed, watched the full game. I was interested in watching that game. So, yeah, all good.
Before, I haven't asked you this before, but obviously there's 10 games. Have you got to watch even the highlights of all of them or most of them?
Yeah. I've basically seen the highlights. I've seen about 3 or 4 full games and the highlights of all the others.
Okay, yeah. So your highlights, do you watch 20 minutes or some of them will be shorter than that?
Most of them I watch 20 minutes of them. And now and again, when it's a game I don't fancy, I'll just do the 9-minute one. Yeah. You know? So
the reason why I asked that is because sorry, carry on. I was gonna say the reason why I asked that is because, you know, if it's live on Sky or BT, I'll watch it. And then I might watch Match of the Day. So the reason why I format the show where I do where you're the one more analysis, because you probably, even watching a 9-minute, you're watching more of the game than I have done. Do you understand? So
yeah.
That's why it makes sense for you to, because I do watch them and Match of the Day sometimes, but you're probably watching more of the match than I am. Yeah,
because you get one thing with the Optus stream I've got here. Like I say, I can watch the 90 minutes, I can watch the 20 minutes, I can watch the 9 minutes, or I can watch 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's up to you. If you fancy the game, you think, it doesn't have to be 2 big names as well. You know, when you see 2 teams, you think, they might be good against each other. I might just watch. I can skip through the 90 as well if you think it's too long. You can skip. And, but now and again, I want to, like Liverpool and Arsenal today, I wanted to watch the full game. I wanted to see how it panned out. And I did. And I watched the Newcastle game to see how that panned out in Brighton.
Yeah.
So, they're worth a watch.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Unfortunately, I watched West Ham as well.
Yeah. Right. Well, obviously, that is the first game that we're going to go to because we'll always keep it in the order that the games were played or the way that it's displayed on the fixture list. We'll start off straight away. Luton Town back in the Premier League. First Premier League game back at Kenilworth Road after, I think, a 10 million renovation to get it up to Premier League standards. Luton Town 1, West Ham United 2.
You heard it.
You
check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a reasonably industrial sort of game. Sort of went the way I predicted it to go. Yeah. There was nothing that exciting about the game, to be fair. It wasn't a really exciting game. Luton, some big lads in there, lots of endeavour. But I look at them and go, I don't see a lot there. I really don't. I just think there's a championship side playing in the Premier League. I thought the home support was great. They were up for it. You know, it's only about 11,000 that stadium, but they were doing their best to G 'em up for it. The game itself, 2 headers. We got 2 headers. One bit of brilliance from Paqueta with the ball. Lovely couple of 1-2s with Alvarez. And lays it off to Paqueta. He chips a cracker in him. And then Bowen gets on the end of it, and really the keeper should save it. And he makes a hash of it.
Yeah,
but it's 1-0. And then, again, Ward-Prowse delivers later on another cracking corner. Puts it straight on the head of Zuma. He did rise, man. That boy got up high. And that was a 2-0. And really, it should have stayed 2-0. They never looked like scoring Luton. And, my God, we still conceded. And we could have given the penalty away right to death, which is contentious because There are some referees would give that. Now I'm hearing that the new laws are if there is no intentional movement from the arm to the ball, then it won't be given.
Yeah.
Apparently that's part of the new how they phrase it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that's I've seen them given, but they didn't deserve it. To be fair, Luton, they didn't deserve anything out of that game. We were better, not much better, but better and good enough to for the 3 points.
Yeah. So, did it feel weird watching West Ham in the Premier League have 61% possession?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so we should. Like I said, if you can't do a low block when another team are not coming at you. It's pointless. You know, we've got to. And I've always said that. You know, I was happy with Chelsea and Brighton because it had to be done, but against Luton it couldn't be done. I just thought we could have been a bit more attacking with it too, and their goalkeeper really. I don't remember him making a save. He picked the ball out of the net twice, but I don't remember him making a save.
Well, this stats-wise, according to Flash Score, we had 3 shots on target. They only had 1, which, you know, obviously they scored from that. We scored 2. So maybe you're right. Maybe he might have made 1 save with our only other shot on target, or someone might have blocked that. So you're right. So, yeah, I mean, before we move on to the next game, two things, right? If that is the new rule change in regards to the penalty, then it makes sense. I do feel that really and truly, it should be intentional, right? Because sometimes, you know, even to jump, you've got to use your arms and all of that. Ward-Prowse didn't mean to touch the ball like that. I've seen them given. If it was given and I didn't know the rules, then I kind of couldn't argue with it because now we just don't know what's what. But if those are the rules, then you can't give that as a penalty because he had no intention of it. You know what the funny thing is? When I was watching the game, I was in the kitchen, as always, doing what I'm doing. I'm standing up watching what I'm doing stuff. Now, I didn't even realize that it was Ward-Prowse. I thought that Kudos might have, as he checked, I thought he might be the one. Straight away, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, same here.
We're checking it. So I'm thinking it's the Kudos one. And then they started talking about Ward-Prowse. I'm thinking, it's only when they showed it, I didn't even realize. So, that's... if that's the rules, then obviously they've stuck to the rules and it's not a penalty. And I agree with that. You know, if that happens to West Ham, really, that ain't a penalty. So thankfully it wasn't given. And my last comment on this match is, do we give David Moyes praise for going to Luton? Obviously, first game back, the crowd is going to be fully up for it. And restricting them to 1 shot on target, which ultimately came, I think, in stoppage time. Is there any credit given for that?
Yeah, well, there is, because you know West Ham's history. This is a potential banana skin for us. You know, we do Chelsea, we do Brighton for the first time ever, and then we come against Luton, and we lose. I mean, it had that written all over it, and we didn't allow that. I mean, I thought Zuma was fantastic at the back. Again, had another very average game. Very average game. I was disappointed in him. He looked a bit lost. I thought Emerson was good. But it was one of them games where we could have ended up... Say, if this law isn't... I think last season that penalty's given.
I think so. Right?
And we could end up a draw out of nowhere, out of nothing. Yeah. They didn't deserve anything out of it, Luton.
Yeah.
But yet they could have ended up with it. And this is what West Ham have done over the years. Silly results where, you know, you shouldn't be getting silly results. And I just thought this was a banana skin avoided. Moyes, I wouldn't say he deserved credit, but we got the job done. Yeah. Not very excitingly. I would like to have seen more attacking intent. I thought Ben Rama, from coming on as sub last week, was fantastic against Brighton. Went back to his usual, being frustrating and annoying and disappointing. Bad choice making. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a bit. But we got it done. We walked away with it 3 points before that international break. You don't want to go with that international break with a loss. And especially against, to me, they look like one of the favourites to go down because I didn't see anything there that's going to keep them up.
All right, final question on West Ham. When we do come back from that break, we are away to City. No, home to City, away to Liverpool. Let me just check that. 1 minute.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Fixtures. We're at home to City, away to Liverpool. I'm talking about the Premier League. How many points are we going to get out of those 2 games?
6. No. Mate. I mean, if you took a point out of them 2 games, it wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah.
But the way we've been playing, if we play like we did against Brighton and Chelsea, which we will, we'll have 9 men behind the ball and a goalkeeper and Tony up there to break on them. Liverpool, you could get a result. It's a possibility. They're coming
at Anfield, yeah.
Yeah, it suits what we're doing completely.
Yeah.
Whether we can hold out at the back is the question. Because even against Brighton, they had too many chances for our liking, really. When you talk about how well we've done against Brighton, we beat them well. We scored 3 goals. Fantastic on the break goals. Really quick, great finishing. Yeah, Areola probably was man of the match, probably alongside Antonio.
Yeah.
So that tells me they still had chances after chance after chance, which they did. Areola was superb. But you can't be, if you do that again against Liverpool, you can't give them chances because I think they'll be taking more of them. Yeah. But I think there is a chance. No one's got a chance against Man City until it happens, is it? You just, I don't think they've been at their best yet they still look unbeatable.
Exactly.
And but that doesn't mean to say, they have an off day, we have a good day. We couldn't get a result, maybe a draw. Could happen.
Again, we got a 2-2 last time. I think we played them at home, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was that at home? Anyway, right. So next fixture: Sheffield United 2, Everton 2. How much of that game did you watch?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that.
That was
That was Decore opened the scoring, didn't they, for Everton?
Yes.
Right, 3-2. Average goal. The keeper was poor. They scored, and then all I can remember about that game at the moment is that the shot they hit the post and hit Pickford on the back of the head.
Yeah.
I mean, how's your luck there, man? I mean, that's so really bad luck, man. You couldn't get it any worse. But, both teams look bang average. Really do. Everton especially. I can't. I said they'll only survive Everton, watching them, if there's 3 worse teams.
Yeah.
And the team they've just played could be one of them, but it ended up a 2-2 draw. Again, I think Pickford saved them near the end to a double save.
Yeah.
Absolute quality save, which he does. And I'll stand by this. The only reason they stayed up last year, Everton, was because of Pickford. Because he won them points when in games with a save and pulled up a save that he shouldn't do. And he did. And he done it again in this game. But it gives them a point. It gets, they scored their first goals, Everton, and they got their first point on the board as Sheffield United have. So it's a start. It's a start.
Final question. Who's going to finish higher out of these 2 teams?
Well, last week I said, the transfer window hasn't finished yet, but, it has now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I think they're both serious candidates for the bottom 5. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't know.
Right. Moving on. High flying. Man City 5. Fulham 1. And your boy Haaland, once again, gets a hat-trick.
It's amazing, eh? I don't think Haaland's had a good start to the season. Yeah. After that game, I think he's on 6 goals.
Yeah.
He's probably the top goal scorer in the Premier League.
He is.
And he's had a bad start. he bangs in a hat trick out of nowhere, and you go, well, even though one of them goals should have been disallowed, the guy jumped over the ball when it went through his leg. How is that allowed, man? Come on. I don't mind passes off. The old rule, when it first came out, the passage offside, being let go, I thought it was a great rule change. And but not when the guy jumps over the ball in front of the keeper.
Yeah.
Come on. That was bad refereeing. I really thought it was really bad. But, yeah, Man City just dealt with Fulham. Fulham looked, to me, another team in trouble. I said it in the first game. I thought, man, they looked a bit devoid of ideas. I'm starting to wonder what they done well last year. I just don't think they're going to do too well this year.
Yep.
But it doesn't help coming against Man City, does it? And they were just too good.
Yeah. Too good. Right, moving on to which this result really surprised me. From what I've seen so far this season, that was Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. How much of that game did you? Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely delighted. Well done, Forest. It was wow. Do you know when you think, right, I've got Pochettino in place. He's had a massive clear out. I think he must have dumped about 12 players, got rid of 12, 13 players. He's put his own stamp on it. And then we beat them. And then bloody Nottingham Forest go and beat them. And that is unforgivable, really. What are you doing? What is going on? And again, what's his name up front for Forest?
Jack? Oh, Awoniyi?
Awoniyi. He gets the ball. I'm thinking, he was in nutmeg. Was it
Thiago Silva?
He puts it through Silva's legs, straight through the boy in on goal and scores. Yeah. Man, it was a good bit of play, actually, from him.
Yeah.
And, they've done well, Forest. I look at them, and they would have been one of the favourites to be, looking for the drop this year. But the last couple of games I've seen them, no, I think they've got enough fight about them and battle about them to be out of that bottom 5 or 6. I don't think they'll have a problem this year. I think they'll be fine for us. But Chelsea, my God. £1 billion spent.
Yeah.
And that's what you see. Forest, they're losing to Forest 1-0.
At home.
That was at Stamford Bridge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Even worse, you know what I mean? I thought Pochettino would be putting his stamp on it by now and they'd be hammering teams like this, but they're not. So there's still an issue there. I don't know how he explains that one.
And also, that result came, hours after probably their main player or most valuable player, Brennan Johnson, obviously signed to Spurs. So they didn't have him there either. I think they made 7 signings on transfer deadline day, and none of those signings started that match. So it's not like they've chucked in the new boys and they got a result. They got that result with the players they already had, and they did make 7 new signings as well on transfer deadline.
Did they really get that many signings, Titch?
7. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I thought, oh, do you mean in the window? And they said, no, on deadline day. Yeah, 7. So I don't know the guy from Arsenal, Kalonga. He went there, a Brazilian guy. They got some good players in, but yet none of them started. I think one of them might have been on the bench or something like that. I think I heard, but yeah. So I think Forest will be comfortable. I think last year was a season where it was going to be. If they're going to go down, it's going to go down last year, and I think now they're just going to build and maybe potentially stabilize as a lower tier Premier League team. Yeah.
It could be.
Anyway.
Not that this one result defines it. I think it says more. It probably says more about Chelsea's inefficiencies than how good Forest are.
Yeah.
Because this is not a good start for Pochettino. Yeah, not at all.
Now the reason why, obviously, Arsenal Forest first game they lost away to Arsenal 2-1. No shame in that, right?
Yeah.
They scored. Second game, they beat Sheffield United 2-1. Last week, they went to Old Trafford, ultimately lost 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
So they're scoring. Every game, they're scoring. You understand? So, like, that's why I think they'll be fine because, and they're always in all of the games. They've never been hammered. I know it's only 4 games, but they're not a Luton or a Burnley in regards to the results and all of that. So I think Forest is going to be fine this year.
I think so too. And I think that's good.
Chelsea worrying signs again. Right, here we go. Burnley playing only their 3rd game. 2, your boy Big Ange's Spurs 5.
Well, that's another game. This is what Big Ange is doing to me. I actually watched the whole game. Yeah. I got up that morning and I went, right, I want to see the whole game because I want to see how he's playing and what he's instilling. And my God, it's attacking football. It's entertaining football he's bringing to Tottenham, and it produces goals. Mm-hmm. What more do you want as a football fan than that? Now, what I've always said about Big Ange, this is what he'll bring you. But you will concede, which they did in the end. They conceded a couple, didn't they? Is it 5-1?
Yeah, they went 1-0 down, and then they conceded at the end. So, it
was a good goal they went down to, actually. It was a good Burnley goal. Very well worked. Really good goal. But they just keep going. And what he's done then, and I said to you, what looked a problem for him last week was Richarlison up front. I don't think he's capable or good enough. So this week he dropped him. He put him on the bench and put Son up as a number 9, which I thought, maybe in the interim that might be a good thing, but I don't see it really working, because you're losing what he gives you on the left. Yeah. But he ends up with a hat-trick, so what do I know? He ends up with 3 goals. Not that he was greatly involved in the whole game, Son, but he was there when it mattered and scored 3 goals. And he gets a hat-trick for himself. But they were just very good. Maddison controlled the whole... even saying he scored 3 goals, I would have given Maddison the man of the match. I don't know who got it, if there was one.
Probably.
But Maddison, for me, would have been the man of the match because he just controlled the whole game.
Yeah.
He was pinging passes, setting people up, putting them in. He was superb in it. And it's like he's got a free role to do what he wants to do under Big Ange. And he's just doing it, and he's doing well with it. So, they were just too good. Burnley, again, I think they tried to go toe-to-toe. Now, that might have worked in the Championship for Company. It's not working here. He needs to be a little bit more pragmatic. And, I'm not one to be pragmatic when it comes to football. But I think for his sake and that team's sake, I think he needs to be. I think they're trying to go toe-to-toe and they're getting caught. Yeah. And they're getting done. So we should see what his philosophy is in the next couple of weeks.
Right. Last week I was speaking about top 5 getting champ. Yeah, I got my thing all mixed. Yeah, because, man, forget all that, right? This is so random, but if you were to pick right now, and in not no particular order, which 4 teams would you say are going to get Champions League football this season?
Champions League, and if you looked at it from what we've seen in the first 4 games, you'd say Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham,
Liverpool.
Actually, the 4th one would be hard to pick.
So you wouldn't instantly put Liverpool there, no?
What's that, mate?
So you wouldn't put Liverpool there?
Sorry. Yeah, I would.
That would be your 4.
Yeah, that would be my 4th, Liverpool.
Right.
It would.
Yeah, at this moment in time.
It would be, yeah. Because, I think they're starting to get it together a little bit, Liverpool.
Yeah.
They're starting to look better with the players they brought in. I think, they would be in the top 4 for me.
All right.
I think that's only after 4 games. I mean, that could change in the next 4 games. But at the moment, that'd be the 4.
All right, I'm going to ask the same question for which 3 teams, if you had to pick now, is going down?
Oh, Everton, Luton, and Well, toss up with the last one. Probably Sheffield United, but it could be Burnley.
Yeah.
They keep playing like they do.
Okay. Right. Okay, we'll move on to Brentford 2, Bournemouth 2. How much of that game did you watch?
Not a lot, mate. I only watched the small highlights of that. Couldn't tell you a great deal about it. Sort of a result I picked. I picked a draw. I didn't know what it'd be, but there's 2 games I fancied draws on, and that was one of them. I've got 2 right anyway, but yeah, I fancied a draw for that. I didn't really see enough of it to say how good they were or how bad they were.
Yeah,
just see a few of the highlights. But yeah, probably a predictable draw. Forget who scored the goals there.
Right. Jensen put Brentford ahead. Solanke.
Oh, yeah. Thinking about that, he'd done that free kick, didn't he? Caught the keeper out. Didn't he? He hit the keeper. He had to go to VAR because the referees watched. It didn't ping. You know, it pings when it went over the line.
Yeah.
The keeper saved it, pushed it out, but it was honestly it was a yard over the line. But it took him about 10 seconds for his watch to ping. Then he gave the goal, which just annoyed everyone.
Yeah.
But it was miles over the line. But yeah, the goalkeeper got caught out.
Solanke obviously equalised. David Brooks came on, and 77th minute he made it 2-1, and then in 93rd minute, Mbeumo made it 2-1.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because Mbeumo missed an absolute sitter earlier on in the game, and me and Kieran James watched we watched the highlights together of that game, and he's a big fan of Mbeumo, right? Yeah. A big fan. He's been going on about him for a year now, and when he see him miss the City with I mean, he should have just passed it in the net. He curled it around the post, but right at the death, he come good and banged one in. So he was delighted for him. Because, I think he is a bit of a beast and a talent.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good boy. Good boy. So he was delighted for that. And, I think it was from what we saw, looked like a fair result.
Just on Mbeumo, would you say that's a sign of a really good player that, you can miss a sitter? I don't recall that. I didn't watch it. So he can miss a sitter, but in the 93rd minute, when you're still losing in that, you have the composure and nerve to then, take your next chance or whatever. Like, do you put him up there as a player that could play in a top 6 side?
I wouldn't say that, but I think he's a kind of player that Moyes would like. I think he'd be on the Antonio type style. That he's a battler, he's strong, he's quick, I think he's I wouldn't say a top 6 side, no. But I like him. No. I'd have him at West Ham.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a lot of clubs he would fit in.
Yeah.
I don't see him as a top striker for a top 6 club, no. Yeah. But I do like him.
Okay. Right, so just before we move on, Brentford, Bournemouth, you don't see any problems for these two staying in the league this year? No,
not at all. These boys will be between whatever, 8th and 15th, probably 10th and 15th. But no, I don't see any problems for them. I think they'll get goals. I think they'll get points. I think they've got enough about them. When you look at what the 4 or 5 teams that are poor in this league, they're going to be well in front of them.
Yeah.
Well in front.
Right. So we had a very, very big game at the Amex Stadium, and that finished Brighton 3, Newcastle 1.
Yeah.
How much of that game, once again, did you watch? All of that?
I watched all of that one.
Yeah.
I watched all of that one because that was one that interests me. So I wanted to see how Brighton recovered after we absolutely smashed them with 20% possession last week. I want to see how they'd go. And like I say, we set the blueprint about to beat them, but Newcastle weren't going to do that. They want to do their thing.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah. They thought they could go toe to toe with Brighton, and Brighton done what Brighton do, and they thoroughly deserved the win, and there could have been more. Just try to remember the goals. Titch, remind me who scored.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to mention this person. And I want to ask your thoughts, because I think you're a good judge of where you see somebody in 3-4 years' time, especially as a striker. Now, obviously, Evan Ferguson, 18 years old, got a hat trick, right? So he scored the goals. But yeah, I was going to ask you, where do you see him in 3 to 5 years' time? So yeah, he scored a hat trick anyway.
Well, I don't see him at Brighton.
Yeah.
I think this boy has got a future, a big future. And I just remember last week, even he done a little turn against us, and he brought the ball in his feet, turned, bang, shot on goal. Ariola saved it, but he turned it on Bonner inside out with just 2 quick touches, and you just see the quality that he's got. In this game, you saw the quality. I know it was only a tap in the first goal, but the boy, he is a good player, mate. He really is. He's 19. He's 19 18. Next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's back next week. He's 19. He's still 18. And you think, bloody hell, man. You're playing against Newcastle in the Premier League at 18 and scoring a hat-trick against them.
Yeah.
Man, that's something to remember, isn't it? Wow. No, the boy does look. He won't be at Brighton for more than probably this season, maybe one more if he's lucky. Someone will snap him, and he will be a top 6 striker, I think. I really do. Yeah, I'm really impressed with him. And he's learning. He's just a boy. He's got a lot to learn. A lot to learn. But I like him. He's really good.
Right. He's obviously from Republic of Ireland. I heard, and I've just, fact-checked this. He played in the Bohemians first team at 14 years old.
Really?
Yeah. 14.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you? I know it's County Meath he's from.
Right. I didn't know where he's from.
Yeah, but man, the guy, how do they keep doing this, Brighton? You know what I mean? Don't matter what country. I mean, it's not as if they just go to one country and keep picking little gems. It's everywhere. They bring them from everywhere. And there was an amazing stat while we were watching that game, actually, what the commentator come up with. He said that in the last 5 transfer windows, Brighton have made a profit in every one of them. And guess what the commentator said? He reckons the last 5 transfer windows, they've made a profit. Who does that?
Exactly.
Who does that, for Christ's sake? It's mental.
And their profit will be, I mean, if you think about this window, McAllister, Caicedo, that's, was it Trossard? No, he was the winner before, wasn't he? Winner before. But I'm just looking at the
Ben White. Really keep going back. Yeah.
Yeah. And they did say that when I watched the documentary or whatever it was, maybe 6 months ago, they said that the Ben White and someone else's money had paid for the new stadium. Ben White. Right. Does 100 mil sound right for a new stadium?
It doesn't, but it could be that basic, that stadium, maybe.
I'm sure they said that had paid for, and if it wasn't a stadium, it was a whole new training complex or something. I don't know, but that 100 mil had paid for a major part of that club. White and somebody else.
I know it's hard to think 100 mil would pay for that, but because if you look at Tottenham, it cost them $1 billion to build their one.
It might have been the training complex. It might have been that.
Maybe.
Yeah, but 100 mil basically. Yeah, it was anyway. Right, let's just speak about Newcastle. Like, they've had some tough games, but do you think that Newcastle last year would have only from those same games would have only had 3 points and lost 3 on a spin?
No, you wouldn't. But like I said, they've had tough games, and but yet again, their bench, I don't think, is good enough. And I think they've done the same in this game. They brought on players to me that are just not. They'd taken Joel Linton off. He looked absolutely shagged, actually, to be fair. But they're taking these players off and not replacing them with players that can make an impact. I mean, pretty sure. Who came on in?
So on 58 minutes, it was Wilson for Joel Linton, Anderson for Almiron, and Longstaff for Tonali. And then 74 minutes, Barnes for Isak and Lascelles for Target.
Yeah, they didn't help them. Let's put it that way. They didn't add anything to what they were doing. I just think Brighton, they're just playing such good football and opening you up so easily, with the football they play. You've really got to be on it, man. And if you're not on it, they're going to beat you. And they did go toe-to-toe, Newcastle. They went toe-to-toe with them and couldn't compete. And why David Moyes decided not to go toe-to-toe and put 9 men behind the ball. And it worked.
All right. Question, top of my head. Might be an obvious answer, but it might not be, actually. Who finishes higher out of these two teams this season, especially
I think
both got European football?
Yeah, both got European football. But I think looking at Brighton's group, they could be out of that pretty quick. But I don't think Newcastle got an easy group either, have they?
No, but I mean, without looking at the group, I know Brighton have got Ajax, I believe. They, third gives you a playoff into the lower down competition, so they may well stay in Europe, and maybe not the.
They could do, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say, mate. At the moment, you judge it on 4 games. Even though we beat Brighton, I mean, Brighton, look like a far better team than Newcastle. More of a team and that group that's playing better football. And that De Zerbi, God knows where he came from, my word, but he seems to know his stuff, man. The geezer knows his shit. And he's a good. I think last week when Newcastle lost to, who was it? Was it Liverpool?
Liverpool. Yeah, 2-1.
I think the substitutions made cost them the game. So I think there's every chance that Brighton finish above Newcastle the way they're going at the moment.
Okay, so one of the early kickoffs yesterday was Liverpool 3, Aston Villa 0. Did you watch? I'm guessing you watched 20 minutes of that one. Yeah,
I think I did. Or did I watch more? I don't remember. Yeah. Villa. Villa, look, basically, up front, I thought they were non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. Watkins just seems to be stranded these days. And no service. He's getting nothing. He's doing nothing. But Liverpool with... Do you know I give Alexander-Arnold a lot of stick about being a right back because he's not a right back's arsehole. Right?
Yeah.
And but he was playing more in a midfield role, and he's pinging balls. I can't understand why Villa play a high line against Liverpool when you got Arnold there who can do this to him. Yeah. And he just kept banging balls over the top. I mean, pinpoint ball. He was a masterclass of long passing. Absolute masterclass by Arnold. And he just rips them apart with that. And, really, really good Liverpool with that. I can't work out why Unai Emery wouldn't have just brought his defenders 10 yards back to stop that space, stop giving them space to run into. And it suited Liverpool, and they just kept exposing it all through the game. And scored, who was the goal scorers? Salah got one, didn't he?
Salah, Matty Cash own goal. And
man, there was another one. It's a bit like the Pickford one. It come off the back, off the post, smashed him in the legs and went in. Yeah,
and the opener on 3 minutes was a great goal. I don't Sabitzer, I don't even know how to pronounce his name yet, but yeah, that guy.
Sabozalai. Oh, Sabozalai or something. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Sabozalai hit an absolute screamer.
Great goal.
Absolute bullet into the corner. That you just got to look and go, what happened there?
Yeah.
Absolute cracker. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Villa were never in it. Never in the
game. Once again, obviously, yeah, Liverpool have got to play in the same competition as us, which is obviously the Europa League. But Villa, from what you've seen, and I know they've got a few injuries, and obviously they're in the Conference League as well. Where would you, if you had to pick, within a 3-team sort of whatever spaces, where would you put Villa this season, knowing that they've got to contend with Europe as well?
At the moment, because the way they played last year and how they finished, I'd think at the beginning of this season, they're up for a shout for that top 6. After watching these first 4 games of them, I doubt if you'd put them at 12th, 10th, maybe.
Yeah,
they're not looking anything like what they were last season. And with the European, the Conference League, they're going to be in. And like I said, I picked them as soon as I knew that they were going to be in it. I picked them to win it.
Yeah.
So they might concentrate really, hard, especially Unai Emery. He loves a European bloody trip, doesn't he? So I think there's every chance that Europe might be the deciding factor of where they finish in the league, but they might concentrate more on Europe than they do on this league.
Yeah,
but that's no excuse at the moment of what how they're playing. I mean, there's that. If you are going to do that, like us, we're lucky we're getting points on the board early.
Exactly.
So we're not going to struggle and suffer later on when Europe kicks in and maybe injuries come into play. So, they're not very impressive at the moment. Let's put it that way.
The other early kickoff on Sunday was lots of goals. That was Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2.
Yeah, I only saw the minimal highlights of that. It looked pretty boring game from what I saw, even though there were 5 goals in it. But Palace, scored the goals, got to 3-1 up, and Wolves got one at the end. Yeah, Wolves again. The more I look at them, the more I think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I think they're going to be part of that pack at the bottom. Palace, not a problem. They'll get out of it. They can score goals. They've got fast, quick players everywhere. As according to the commentators now, is Eze? Is it Eze? It's not Eze anymore. They've changed his name to Ezer or something.
Yeah, I heard them pronounce it differently yesterday.
Yeah. So he must have told them, or they've worked it out. He's not meant to be Eze. It's meant to be something else. But he scored. But Palace haven't got a problem. I think Wolves are in trouble.
Yeah,
they're going to be battling.
Just a quick. Once again, it's a sign of appreciation from me, and you've been on this planet a bit longer than me, obviously. But Roy Hodgson, does he deserve like a lot of credit for his long-standing in the
game? Absolutely. What was he? 70-odd years of age, mate. He's still standing on the sideline. Yeah. Of course he does. My God, he deserves all the credit in the world. He took over Palace last season, mate. But you had the superstar. Was it Vieira?
Yeah.
There, right? And Look, I'm not saying that Vieira couldn't have turned it round, but it was a shambles at what was going on at the time. Palace, they were losing them badly, and it was a mess. Now, I think Hodgson was lucky enough that when he came in, the load of fixtures he had in front of him were good ones, and he just turned it round overnight.
Yeah,
and that's down to experience. It's nothing else. he said, right, he could see where the problems were, where it weren't working, and sorted it out. And yeah, he deserves all the credit in the world, mate. Do I think the old bastard should be knocking on the head? Yes. He should definitely not be reading any long books. He might not. He might not get to the end, but he's done brilliant. And
oh shit! I've just googled his age. Right, he's 76.
76.
I just said 70 or 71. He's 76. So you're a baby to Roy Hodgson, right? And that's
absolutely, mate. I've got loads of years to go in this football game.
So he's gone up even more in my estimation. Now, what I'm trying to say is this: at 76, how many men in this day and age where everyone's pampered, the wages are ridiculous, everybody's got egos and that? How the hell is he still managing to keep these people in check in this day and age? That'd be a hard thing to do, would you not say?
Yeah, it would, unless them players have got brought up in a way like me and yourself that you have respect for their elders.
But
total respect. Total respect for what he's telling you, and respect his experience, not just his age, but respect his experience. If he's telling you something, it's for the good of you and that team.
Yeah,
it's not because of his ego. There is no ego in a 76-year-old.
Nah,
he's just telling you what he thinks will do the team better, and and it looks like them players, all young, fit, vibrant players, are probably looking at him as the grandfather of this team, going, "We better listen."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you ever want to pick someone's brains and learn something, maybe this is the guy to do it from. And they are.
Yeah.
And they've done well with him. So, and that's with losing Zaha too.
Yeah.
I
can't believe. I thought he was 70 or 70. I thought maybe 71.
I thought he was about 73, to be honest, but I didn't realise 76.
Yeah, much respect to Roy Hodgson. Crazy. Right. So, final game. Historically, massive game. And that was Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1, which obviously you watched the whole game. What do you think of that game, the final game?
Oh man, it was a game on a knife edge all through the game. It was Arsenal had the better of it, especially in the first half. They put a lot of pressure on Man United. Man United were doing a counter-attacking style, but done it well. And when they did counter-attack, they bloody scored. And Rashford scored a cracker. It was a really brilliant ball from Eriksen. They cut Arsenal open, right into his path. He cut inside, right, bang. And a great goal, a really good goal. Against the run of play, but as counter-attacking often is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was a good game. Arsenal were huffing and puffing. I think when it came to the second half, Man United came a little bit more into it. They had a little bit more of the game, but still Arsenal were pushing them, trying. Like I said, they scored. After Man United scored, it only took from the kickoff 35 seconds for Arsenal to equalise. Forgot about that bit. And that was a good goal. Really well worked goal, man. Brilliant goal. Great passing.
One touch.
Yeah. Really good.
It was a really good goal.
Yeah, it was superb. Like I say, it was in the balance then, but Arsenal looked like the better team, as they would do at home. They had more possession, they had more chances. But I just thought Man United came into it a little bit in the second half, and it could have gone either way. It was one of them where they were waiting for that chance, Man United, that counter-attacking chance to nick it. And that's what it was going to be. It was like watching West Ham at time. We're going to nick this game if we get that one chance. And they did get that one chance. Yeah. And it was a cracking goal. Right, and a good finish by Garnacho, was it?
Yeah, Garnacho.
And it was mate, even though I keep looking at the screen and he's onside to me.
And me.
And then they draw these lines and all of a sudden he's 2 inches offside.
Yeah.
And yeah, that cost them. I think that was the game winner, that goal.
Yeah.
And then they got away with that, Arsenal, but they kept pressing, they kept going for it. And who would bloody score? Johnson.
Yeah.
But Mr. Rice baby, yeah, a terrible defending really from Man United. 96th minute or whatever. And the ball, he's at the back on his own. I think he controlled it with his chin.
Yeah.
It dropped. And then he's hit it and it took a deflection. I thought Anana, the keeper, could have done a little bit better. But it was a deflection. It was come at him quick. And it goes over the line. And that was basically, that won the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that won the game. Yeah. So Rice is off the mark at Arsenal. Delighted for him. What
about Jesus? Obviously, still starting from the bench, just getting him.
Yeah, you know, I thought about that when you said it last. When I said to you last week, I think, look, Arsenal need an out-and-out striker. They need one, and quite frankly, Titch, I think I forgot about Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I forgot about it. They still had him in the background, you know.
Yeah.
And in that last few minutes, he showed his quality. That it could be the difference.
Yeah.
I just forgot about him, and and he came on and finished that with aplomb, didn't he? Just
beautiful.
Sold the defender, mate. See you later, boy, and bang. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolute quality, and that's what you need. The game was over. Man United were throwing everyone up front. The third goal really wasn't a consequence, but it was still a bit of quality finishing from that ball. And and I think they need to keep him fit if they want to really seriously mount a challenge. He could be the boy to help them do it.
Yep. Well, obviously now Declan Rice is getting. I don't know if it's because he's at a bigger club. He's getting more acknowledgement around the country in regards to people are singing his praises basically. I know like the tongue-in-cheek West Ham singing, are you watching Declan Rice? And then I heard someone on TalkSport saying, Declan Rice was holding us back and that. And one thing that, regardless of where he's moved to, I think there's a lot of bullshit where people are bashing Declan Rice, right?
Yeah.
Forget the tongue in cheek and having a laugh and all, but they're actually saying basically he was shit for the club, not as in he played. I know. Yeah, I just think it's fucking ludicrous, and he was big for us, and ultimately he played a major part in West Ham finally winning the trophy. Also, that money that he generated, yes, it has made us stronger overall. But to downplay what Declan Rice done for West Ham, and this is just through, I just think like.
No, I've seen comments myself about it. I just shake my head and go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You same people were praising him last year.
Yeah,
but he was world class. We've got a world class player. He's brilliant. Rice this, Rice that, and now just because he's gone to Arsenal, he's shit. He's a Judas, and he's What? No, he ain't. We all knew he was going on to better things. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
What's your issue? I don't see what the issue is. He's on to a new club now, and he's going to give his heart and soul to them.
Yep.
And was always going to be a temporary thing. I mean, he turned down 3 contracts. God, if you haven't worked out that he wanted to move on to bigger and better things, he done an interview with that Gary Neville, told you he wants to win everything.
Yeah.
Whether Arsenal was the right choice to win everything is another kettle of fish. But that's his choice, not ours.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is. And here he is at Arsenal, and he's going to kiss their badge, and he's going to put his arms up, and he's going to love it. And them as a fan base now are going to love him.
Yeah.
Like we did. We did. We loved him because without him, we probably might have got relegated last year.
And we wouldn't have won the the Europa League conference, we wouldn't have won it. You know, there's other players as well that we wouldn't have won it. But yeah, he was integral to what we've done last year.
Yeah, you can't dismiss what he did for us. He was great. But now we're in a new chapter. Now the money that we've got and the players we bring in might make us a better team. So that be thankful for that as well, because it's not as if we didn't go and buy him for 60 million, sell him for 100. We brought him through the academy and got 100 million pounds for it.
Exactly.
Fantastic. And he might set us up to be a better team.
Well, yeah, I just think that's majority of society. They don't know about respect.
No.
Short memories. And that's
very short.
I think if that's how you conduct yourself with these players, that you know, especially the ones that go and watch them week in, week out and support this guy and say he's world class, you come on there, he's world class, and then straight away you're just, you know, that it means, you know, you contradict yourself. That means
do you know what always sickens me about that? Where would you want to take that, Tish? Well, if I went back to my day, would I be slagging off Bobby Moore for going to Fulham? Would I slag off Martin Peters for going for Tottenham? Or Jeff Hurst for going to Stoke? Our World Cup trio went to other clubs after West Ham. I still think they were legends to me and always will be.
Of course they are.
What, are you going to slag them off because they went to other teams? Well, Martin Peters went to Tottenham.
Yeah.
Why would you? The boy was a legend for us. He was a great player for us. He was a great player for England. I didn't give a shit where he went. If he had left, he left. That's life.
Exactly.
That's just life. And there you go. Everyone's, they don't want to go on that Julian Dix. He went to fucking Liverpool. Why aren't you slagging him off?
Exactly.
Why didn't you know? Everyone wants to talk about Julian Dix today. What a great player he was. Whoa, he was really hard. But he fucked off to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Come on.
Tony
Wake up
went to Everton, who at that time was sort of rivals of ours. Do you understand? He went to Everton, came back.
Yeah, and came back.
Yeah, they pick and choose. And then these same people, like your Cotties and that, you'll see on the platform. I think Tony Cotty he's a twat. I just don't really, I think it's an idiot. I don't know. Do you understand? But yeah, it's just, you see stuff where you think, these people, man, is no respect. That's what I think it is respect. You understand? Why should footballers be different to any other workplace where, listen, if you move on for pastures new or location or family reason, you go to, it's part and parcel of life. No one stays in one job their whole life, do they?
No.
You move on.
But all my life at my work has been money orientated. It's not just about a career. I've moved nearly every job because I've doubled my pay or time and half my pay. You know what I mean? I've always progressed in earning more money somewhere else. Loyalty only goes so far.
Yeah.
You can be loyal to people until, but when you've only got your labour to offer, really, you want to do the best you can with that, which is what you get paid. It's as simple as that. And Rice was always going to get paid a lot more money and more of a chance to win things with other clubs, whether it be Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Man United. That's, to me, was the only four clubs I could see him going to. Arsenal surprised me. But he might believe in what Arteta's building there, and he might believe that, a really young team. I remember Arteta's still in the infancy of it. I don't believe they'll win the league this year. I don't think they're getting anywhere near it. But, Pep didn't win the league in the first two seasons either. It took him a while to get it going. So he might believe in the actual project of Arsenal and the young players that they've got and where they're going. And he might see that as the future. He might think, well, Pep Guardiola could be finished in a year's time. Exactly. And Man City won't be the in thing. Arsenal might be.
Yep. And let's lay the foundation so we're ready to, are we ready to capitalise on that? But most importantly, Declan Rice is I think he's from Kingston, originally. But anyway, maybe it was for family reasons. I want to stay in London. So once again, Arsenal was the only London club in for him.
I think that's a lot to do with it, like being a London club. I think he wanted to stay in London and not move and up any upheaval. I think that's a big part of it.
you know what the hypocrisy is? When David Martin came from Millwall to West Ham, yeah, you know, he's better, Alvin Martin's son and all of that. Hold on, he's just come from Millwall to West Ham, and he's a shit goalkeeper. But yet, everybody, you understand what I'm saying to you? It's so fickle and it's annoying, these people.
It is fickle. It's completely fickle. You know? And I don't have a problem with Rice. Good luck to yourself. Get in there. I like to take the piss out. I don't want to score it.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, we'll all take the piss. But good luck with him. You know, it doesn't bother me one way or another now. He's not playing for West Ham. Good luck to you wherever you go. Yeah. I'll say that. And good luck to Skamaka, who scored 2 goals on his debut at Atlanta this weekend.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Mr. Moyes.
Yeah.
Mr. Moyes. Yeah. He went to a team that played his strengths. He scored 2 goals. But there you
go. Right. So, as always, it was great to sit down with Giza. There's no Premier League fixtures for maybe 2 weeks because of the international break. Boring.
Boring.
But yeah, I think, I don't know, most people ain't going to get to the end of this video, but what I'm saying is my plan would be hopefully to reintroduce the prediction show maybe after the international break, where I can send out the fixture list, we can all prepare. Yeah, so that would be the plan as to when we get back to doing that. But yeah, this show here will be on obviously every single week. And as always, I always appreciate your input, Giza. So any final words before we end this?
No, mate. There was a couple of strange goals this weekend. One off the back of Pickford's head, one off of Matty Cash's legs. 2 cracking on goals that they could do absolutely nothing about. And a few good saves here and there.
3 hat-tricks.
But no, it was a fairly predictable result weekend, bar the Newcastle Brighton one. I thought that could have been a real cliffhanger. It wasn't. Brighton won it fairly comfortably, and Arsenal just scraped it. Even though 3-1 sounds a lot, it weren't. It was a closer game than that. Very tight. But yeah, interesting. Now we're still in the top 4 as the West Ham supporters. We're still in the top 4, hanging on until the next 2. But there you go.
Yeah, thanks as always for anybody that's tuned in, supporting, us at the very beginning of this particular journey. And we will see you all. I'm sure we might do something, in between this time, whether it's a live show or whatever. Get some of the big guns on. So yeah, I think we'll probably do a live at some point, Kieran, just to chat and whatnot.
Have a chat.
Yeah. But we will see you all soon. Ciao.
Laters.